Hello, fight fans, and welcome to the Combat Challenge podcast. My guest today is a flyweight athlete signed to the Cagewarriors promotion who has a professional MMA record of 7 wins with only 2 defeats, Mr. Luke, the Apocalypse Shanks. Hello, Luke. Nice to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you too, my man.
It's been a while, brother. It's been a while, but it's been really cool to catch up with you. One of the things I'd like to ask from you is the fight name, the Apocalypse. What's the story behind that? If you can share that with me and the viewers.
Yeah, my first name, in fact, when I was fighting on the Combat Challenge show, my debut, amateur debut, was the Honey Badger. And yeah, it's a funny reason why I was given that name. But then that was scrapping in college, that was.
Really?
So someone had a problem with me, and then the tutor there was like, "You're relentless, you're like a honey badger," and then he was showing me the documentary on the honey badger. But yeah, I ended up going to a fair few MMA shows myself, and there was that many people called the honey badger that I thought, oh, I can't stick to this one. And of course it don't sound as violent as the animal. It don't sound too cool either. So yeah, it was sort of, I was given that name, I couldn't take it. So then I was thinking, like, what's sort of, I wanted to, like, tasting defeat, of course, on my debut, my amateur debut. It felt like the end of the world, and then so I was thinking, the end of the world, it's the apocalypse, man. I don't want that feeling again. I want to dish that feeling out instead.
Your first amateur fight on the Combat Challenge, who was that against?
That was Joe Young.
Right, I remember. Yeah, he was from, was it Alliance?
Yeah. He's the guy. He obviously had the jiu-jitsu skills, and then I had the stand-up back then, and I've been grappling for a little while. I ended up changing gyms, and that's where my career went to the next level. In all my losses, really, I've never lost at bantamweight, but it was the same loss at flyweight. I've never been able to stick to the nutritional side of things, and of course these water cuts, they catch up with you. And back then I didn't have any knowledge on the rehydration side of things, so it was I felt exhausted after about 2 minutes, of course, after putting your body through all that stress. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm cutting down now, and I'm just going to be happy being the smaller flyweight, because obviously in my last bout the guy was pretty big, so I actually got in there at 147, weighing in at 125, and although I felt strong, I felt so slow, and of course the weight cut catches up with you. So yeah, I'm just going to be happy coming in smaller next time, and I'll be happy getting in there at 135 and feeling good next time. So yeah, lessons learned, and I'll fix it up for next time.
One of the questions I ask the athletes who come on is their MMA journey, and the reason being is myself and the viewers, I'm sure, would be interested in how you ended up where you are today. Can you chronologically talk us through the timeline of your MMA journey?
Yeah, I always wanted to do fighting from, say, the age of 10, along with, I was playing football like most kids and doing that competitively. But yeah, I'd always wanted to do fighting, and I didn't think anyway there was much in my area, so it wasn't as easy as to find MMA gyms now. And yeah, I went to a few taekwondo classes and done stuff like that at the age of, say, 8 or 9, but I was too much of an energetic kid to stand in a line. I didn't have the discipline back then. I was like wanting to do boxing, but my parents probably didn't want me doing it, especially at that age, sort of thing. So yeah, it wasn't till I joined secondary school, the year 7. I met a friend there, and then he ended up finding a Chinese kickboxing gym, and yeah, we were doing that for a bit, and well, say a bit, 5 or 6 years, and then when I was 16, I ended up well, it was even in 2007. Sorry, first year into that, I was at Senai semi 2007 in Birmingham. It's not running anymore, but that's where I met Michael Bisping, and yeah, there was loads of guys there. Of course, K1 legends, Ernesto Hoost, loads of different guys. But it was seeing Bisping and well, it was the Nogueira brothers, and there was another Brazilian guy there. They were advertising their UFC fights coming up, and yeah, I spoke to Bisping. I didn't even know who he was back then, so I'd of course went home, researched him, got a load of other like MMA DVDs while I was there. They're giving out magazines and stuff, and yeah, I just started watching it from there. But yeah, it wasn't until I was 16 that I joined a local MMA gym, and the rest was sort of history from there. I was just hooked on it.
And which MMA gym did you start off with, Luke, to where you are now?
Yeah, so I started off going from Chinese Black Dragon kickboxing club to then Shudan MMA, and that's where I fought for my first 2 fights. And they had Martin Sheridan as the pro there, and then yeah, eventually went on to BST Northampton, where the coach there, Danny Batt, Cagewarriors world champion. And yeah, I ended up after another 5 or 6 years under Danny, I sort of just needed a change almost. So yeah, I ended up moving to where I done my pro debut, and now I'm in high level MMA in Scotland.
Your last fight was against the White Kong, Jake Hadley. Now, before the fight, I'd seen some YouTube clips. There'd been a bit of a hype about that. So if you can tell us your preparation, what you knew about Jake, and then talk us through the fight.
Yeah, I knew he was a good grappler. Well, obviously, he scored that knockout on Shadj in the fight before, but I knew he was just kidding on that he was a striker, really. And I knew he wanted to grapple with me. And yeah, preparation was fine. I was really strong. My coach wanted my weight down because yeah, I had a weight issue with the Dean fight, and it just sapped a bit of my power because I was trying to be the bigger man, and it was coming at an expense almost, because it's like hit and miss whether you're going to feel good on the day. And yeah, so that's one thing I'm working on at the minute. But yeah, that's sort of the moral of the story. It happened in the second one. I got away with it on the first one, and of course, if you keep getting away with these things, I went for it again. And yeah, I didn't have I knew his game plan. I knew what he was going to try and do, and my body was telling me, and I knew how to get up. He didn't feel overly strong, but my body was just compensated from the weight cut. Yeah, we both missed it initially, and then we had them hour to make weight, and I had 2 pounds to cut in that hour, and it was pretty rough, but I made it. And yeah, I'd never sort of miss weight for a bout, so yeah, I'm never gonna do that in future. But then yeah, I've got my walking weight down now, and I'm just gonna be walking around way lighter. And given the rematch, because there will be a rematch down the line, whether it's in Cagewarriors or the UFC. Yeah, like I said before, I've got a bout booked, and yeah, I'm going to be a lot lighter coming in, and I just want to show people the physical and yeah, the physical looking difference, and then obviously my techniques will be there once I'm sort of fight ready.
Weight has been an issue for you, and then it takes a strain on your body. When I was doing some research on you, Luke, there was some talk where you'd said that you're investing time and money with a nutritionist to be able to keep your weight at a certain level. Is that something that you could talk to us about?
Yeah, I did initially do that, but yeah, I don't know if it was winning that belt and then wanting to be the bigger guy. I just didn't really follow the plan. Because obviously Hadley, like he was struggling to make the weight himself. He was a big guy, and yeah, we both didn't look too good. But of course, I should have just been happy coming in lighter and dealing with it that way. It was I should have listened to my coach basically, because I didn't listen to my coach because I've been getting away with it for so long. And yeah, I just want to show the change I've made, because I'm one of them guys. Unless I take a loss for something, I'm not going to sort of fix it, if you know what I mean. Because I knew technically I was in a position where I could beat anyone, and I knew it was hit and miss whether I was going to feel good on the day after doing one of those weight cuts. And I suppose I just took the chance, and it didn't pay off. I should have just come in lighter and a lot more leaner, and yeah, I could have definitely got the job done, and I'd say pretty easily too. But I'll have to prove that again in the future, and you'll keep seeing me win, and yeah, we'll get that rematch for sure.
Cool. I'm sure we'll see you fight Jake again, and hopefully you're on this journey with your weight, and everything will be sorted. And we look forward to seeing you fighting Jake and whoever else in the future. One of the things you mentioned was your coaches. Has there been any coaches or mentors that have played a significant part in your life on this MMA journey?
Yeah, I think yeah, every coach I've had some like they've helped me in many ways. Of course, from the Chinese kickboxing, yeah, Chris McDonald, he helped me mentally, sort of that sort of tough grit from yeah, even just the cardio work we were doing. It was just sort of old school cardio, and I was getting trained from the age of 10, sort of that non-stop, sort of relentless, never give up sort of thing. And I carried that through. And Danny Batten, who was at BST, he really helped me with that too, because he's big on strategy, and then he can sort of sniff out if you've got what it takes pretty early on to be a champion sort of thing. With the sort of tough sparring he was doing back then, it sort of soon you'd find out if you had what it takes or not. That's for sure. And then of course James Dean on with now, he's also full packages. Created Stevie Ray, Danny Henry, and well, Jojo Calderwood before as well. So four guys he's had in the UFC.
We're under testing times with the pandemic and everything. How are you able to keep fight ready during the current situation that we're in?
I don't think I was used to it for the first two, and yeah, it sort of played a part in because if I go back to the first time I was supposed to fight for the belt, that was actually on the March show, and Badine couldn't get into the country. Now, if I go back to then, I mean, my weight was on point. I had abs, I was ripped and everything. And then that was a week out from the fight. I had all my weight down perfect, and yeah, it was literally pulled about 3 days before, so I was gutted. And of course, after that, not knowing, I guess, and there was a lapse of training for so long. That's when I sort of got heavier, and then I just stayed at a heavier weight, and it wasn't good. It was just sort of sitting with a higher body fat percentage, and yeah, it's a hard time because of course I was working, doing a bit of security in the nightclubs and stuff like that. You're on your feet for 6 hours a day, and it's just like that time you're not eating, you're walking around, keeping your mind busy, and then even just these 6 hour night shifts that I was doing, it was enough to sort of keep your mind busy when you're not in the gym. And then when that's taken away, I was living in the gym for the first one. It's just it's a weird time when like it's the only thing you got to focus on. It was almost too much, if you know what I mean.
During your MMA career, Luke, has there been a fight that has been most rewarding for you? It doesn't have to be financial. It don't have to be one that you won. It may have been some that you had to overcome some adversity. And if there is that something that you can share with myself and the viewers?
Yeah, it's definitely my pro debut. I was just so hungry for it. I did everything right for that one, and I was relentless, man, for the full. Well, it lasted. I finished him in the third round, so it was about 12, 13 minutes. But that 30 minutes. It was just an action-packed, like relentless performance, and I was a lot lighter for that one, and I just felt brilliant. But then, yeah, over time, I sort of seeing some other bigger guys doing the weight cuts. So I was thinking, I want to copy that, but I've found out pretty soon now it's not the way to go. And I'm just glad I found out now rather than in the UFC. So.
Although we're in this testing time, we always try to schedule and see what's lined up ahead. Have you got any fights in the pipeline that you'd like to share with us?
I have, yeah. It hasn't been announced yet, but yeah, I'll be fighting on the next Cagewarriors trilogy. Nothing signed, but we've sort of had a verbal agreement. Yeah, I just can't wait because I'm coming in there as a very different guy to the first one. I guess I've got used to all this weird COVID times now, and yeah, I've managed to sort of get through a weird patch as well, because obviously winning a belt in Manchester, it was a weird feeling. There was no crowd, no one. It was just go back to your hotel room with some like dodgy takeaway, and that was about it. It wasn't what I envisioned, that's for sure.
You've been on this MMA journey for many years now, Luke, and on the MMA conveyor belt, you're at the level where it's more premiership. Those fighters that are behind you and still trying to work their way up there, is there any advice or knowledge that you could share from the experience that you've had?
Yeah, obviously the nutritional side of things. If you feel like you're doing something that's not helping you get where you want to get to, and you feel you can get away with it, I'd say don't get away with it. Don't keep doing the same thing. Change it straight away. That's what I should have done. I mean, I've lost the world title.
Well, Luke, thank you so much for sharing that knowledge with us and also spending this time with us on the podcast. It's been absolutely great, and we look forward to having you on the next one after you've had your next fight.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.